Good afternoon. Take a seat, please. I'm really glad that I can say hello to all of you. This is the last day of our conferences. So the last, but not the least, subject, which is science and education and connection to the business. Today we are going to talk with my speakers and during the discussion panel about the intersection of three worlds. It will be the world of science, the world of education, and the world of business, of course. Generally, science and education are the power of growth and development. So this is a really important thing, and we should be concerned on how we prepare our workforces for this research and development part of work in the business. We need workforce which is well qualified and has really high skills. How we can find these guys, let's say? How we can teach students, teach even our children to be really worth in the business. Today we've got five speeches, which will be really, I hope, really good inspiration for all of you, because each country has a totally different educational system. So we, as a Poland, and even in each country, there are some differences between high schools, between universities, and there are totally different approaches to the businesses. So that's why we are trying to find some maybe sign graal about how to prepare workforce for fit them to the business world. My name is Łukasz Bis. I'm from University of Information Technology and Management in Rzeszów, and I'm really glad that I can be host of you for today. And right now I would like to welcome on the stage Magdalena Lui, which is from the same university, University of Information Technology and Management, and I'm really glad that I can be co-speaker for her, but it will be at the 7th slide. So right now, Magda, welcome on the stage.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Magdalena Lui, and I am the presidential representative at the University of Information Technology and Management in Rzeszów. I would like to thank, first of all, Łukasz and Urząd Marszałkowski for inviting us as university to be a part of this Expo great event, to be able to share information about our university with the rest of the with the visitors here, and also people from our field. Let me tell you a few words, and I know that everybody has got very limited time, so I'll be very brief, and I'll skip the agenda, you'll be pleased to know. For those who don't know where we are, this is a little hint. We southeast of Poland region, the largest city called Rzeszów, and it's called an academic center of Poland because every fourth person on the street is a university student. That's a lot. What it means is, in practice, that means that the city is well prepared to receive students, to look after students, and especially to give them education. They come in here they come to Rzeszów to look for students of many universities and of many countries. I will speak about this a little bit later, but our university can safely say that we have students from over 50 countries, and 130. And so there's a great mixture of nationalities at our university. Obviously, the majority at some point they were Ukrainians, nowadays Kazakhstan, but also loads of students from Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Morocco, students from China, from Vietnam, but also from America and other countries. And then we are on the way to increase the numbers. Aviation Valley, it is a point that we always like to make because of the program we have, which is International Business Aviation Management and Global Aviation as a master, which is very important for students who do choose this, because then they can find employment, they can find internship at the Aviation Valley. And Aviation Valley is the place where many international companies from the aviation industry are based. All right, and we are with international airport, and we very dynamic region. And this is important also for students, because students do come here for education, but also they come here to try to make a first step in their career. This is our campus in Kielnarowa. It's about 10 kilometers on the outskirts of Rzeszów. As you can see, lovely green area with the main buildings, but also hotel, the sports center, and there's actually the swimming pool doesn't belong to us, unfortunately. But there is restaurant. But there is restaurant which doesn't feature here. Actually, it's here hidden over there with lovely outdoor area for different events. And we do run, for example, this year we're planning plenty of events that will be very international. For example, the African Day and other events that our international students can get together with Polish students and integrate. Going back to university, just few figures, few numbers. 25 years of experience, 60,000 graduates. And what is worth mentioning, the tuition fee, that it's very competitive and very affordable, because not every student has got rich mom and dad that we're able to send them to England or to America. So we kind of alternative to those who like to study on budget, let's say. I've already spoken about the multicultural university, but the programs we offer, there are programs in English. So we're one of the not that many universities in Poland that actually have so many years of experience teaching in English. Our strongest programs obviously are around management, especially international business management and what we've mentioned before, the global aviation. But also we are by name IT university. So the programming, the computer science, and recently cybersecurity as a master degree. So these are the programs we're recruiting for, and we're always very successful. And new things at our university, for example, nursing. And nursing proved to be a very popular in the last couple of intakes, and I think it can only get better, the other words. This is my colleague Tuna, who is not here. So, what? No, he's not here. Oh, please welcome. We have some people late for the... Please take a seat. No? Okay. Where was I? Hello. We're going to have a tiny break, allowing people to take a seat. Please take a seat. And we will, okay. For the latecomers, I will just go back to, we were talking about our university, which is located in the southeast of Poland, and about our programs in English, encouraging people from all over the world to come and study with us. And this is our campus number 2. And these are our programs that we teaching in English for our international students. As you can see, obviously the undergraduate, postgraduate, bachelor, master degree, and also we teach English. Now I would just hand this over to my student, used to be a student of aviation management, to tell you very briefly about this elite and unique program.
Hello people, welcome. Thank you very much for coming. I'm a graduate of aviation management program, and this is a quite unique program that our university has been offering for a long time. So we are very strong players in the aviation sector that we offer aviation management Bachelor of Arts degrees, and also starting from this October Global Aviation Management Master degrees. All of our aviation studies are done under the patronage of Lufthansa. As you might know, it's the biggest airline in Europe, and we have the professionals from Lufthansa Academy and German lecturers also coming to our university and educating our students and sharing their experiences. And the other best thing is our university is eligible to receive European Union funding, and we are using these funds to provide additional certifications and conferences which will be eventually beneficial for our students. Well, one of them is the Iata Certification. As you might know, it's one of the biggest associations in the world, which nearly all the airlines are a member of. So our students be able to participate in this training and receive this certification completely for free. And these certifications has almost 5,000 euro commercial value if they need to be acquired individually. So we offer this our students completely for free, as well as the ArcPort, which is an airport simulation software, which is directly in the curriculum. All of our students will eventually receive it, and in the end of the day, it will look very good on their CVs. Just to briefly also talk about the employment opportunities, our city is called the Aviation Valley of Poland. The reason behind this, there is more than 130 international companies connected to the aviation sector. So from travel agencies to aircraft manufacturing companies, from maintenance to our operations in our airports. So our students has opportunities to find employment and internships even while they are studying, and they usually do and keep continuing after their graduation.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I'm going to ask Łukasz to say a few words about the inclusive teaching.
Yeah, okay, that's my part. So I'm, as some of you can know, I'm an academic teacher. I'm teaching since 2008, probably, or something like that. At UITM, we are dealing with, or we try to be focused on our students, let's say. So we try to be really inclusive when we are teaching. What does that mean for us? Generally, probably all of you remember your K-12 education, so it's from being kid to being, let's say, teenager. All of these models were like giving you the knowledge, giving you some, let's say, some knowledge which you have to take by heart. We are trying to teach by I forgot the English name. We are trying to teach by experience. Okay, that was the word. By experience. So we are practicing with students. It's not like just giving them knowledge. It's more like using the knowledge which is from lectures on the real life, in the real life, real businesses, real, let's say, case studies. We teach Roberts and Susans. I hope that there's no Roberts and Susans on this in the audience. But what does that mean? We think about the highest skills of our students, but we don't forget about those who are maybe a little bit more lazy, or maybe they are interested in another areas than the topic which we talk about, and so we are trying to engage all of our students to the teaching process. It's quite important, and I think that it's one of the most, the biggest problem in teaching, to engage the whole class to the program. Thanks, but not yet. Yeah, Magda want to make me a little bit faster. So we take care of each student and we discover hidden gems among them. So we are trying to find the best skills in each of our students and try to force them to be their main skills. Grzegorz will be the next speaker, and he will be talking about the beast, and it will be a little bit about that. So we are trying to force them to think about their careers, and so this is finding games among students. During our classes, we use different methods. It's all of them on focus on engagement. So we are dealing with design thinking, universal design. We are forcing the individual approach. So mainly we work with students individually. It's not like working with a whole group like all of you here. It's more like individually or in small groups, up to 3 maybe, or up to 5. We use a lot of prototyping. We use a lot of, let's say, role-playing situations. Of course, we are forcing students to be creative. So we try to force them to find new solutions, new, maybe sometimes I will call this stupid, ideas. But from stupid, we are going to the really, really important and wise solutions. We've got some specialized programs for the best one, let's say. First of all, we've got something which is called School of Leaders. I'm alumni of this program as a, let's say, somehow prototype, because it was in 2004 till 2008. After that, we've got to get step back, rethink about this program, and right now we are putting it to reality once again with some changes. We've got in School of Leaders something about 50 students. This is a small part of our society, because at our university something about 5,000 probably, or something like this, 4,500 students at the whole university, something like that, yeah? Polish English, yeah. So it's only a small part, but we really take care of them. So we are working with them with tutoring. We are forcing them to solve real business problems. We are giving them additional lectures, additional consultation, even with the, let's say, highest or the most important people in the business, not only regional business, but Polish business, to be inspired, to get some new solutions, to find some inspiration, let's say. We've got some scholarships for our best students, so it's 10% of the whole society is in this program. We've got something which is called Ministry of Education and Science Scholarship, so this is for the whole Poland. It's from government, and we've got each year 1 or 2 students in this program. This is really amazing, because it's very difficult. You need to be a scientist during the studies, so it's not so easy. You have to publish science articles, you have to make your own researches and so. So we are trying to find at least 1 student per year to engage to this program. We've got this tutoring for our best students, but not only the best one. At some faculties, like for in example graphic design and multimedia production, we're working almost with half of our students, so this is something about 300 students in tutoring model. So they can consult their projects individually, they can come to in our office hours to make some additional consultation, to work with their own path of development. So it's not only about the whole group, about the study program, it's about their own skills. We've got some additional free of charge activities, so because we are non-public university, so there are some fees for students. In Poland there are some public one in which you can study when you are from Poland. Of course, you can study for free, but for our students we've got some free of charge activities, which are from workshops to additional lectures. So this is the whole very different offer for them. we've got media consortium, so they can work as in a business, like as in a TV or as in a professional journal. So we've got the whole consortium in which there is radio, journal, TV, and of course some let's call it internet activities like making social medias, making some publications for web, even Web 3, so the newest one. And we've got some scientific conferences for them, so we are organizing conferences just for students to build their scientific skills, to teach them how to present science, how to deal with the science and so on. So I think that is something really unique in Poland as well, because this scientific conference is not only for our students. This is for students at all. So I think that even there can be students from Dubai who can acquire to be at that conference. Yeah, why not? We've got some cooperation especially in teaching. So University of Groningen, in example, is the university which teaches us how to make tutoring, how to make this School of Leaders exercises and so. We've got some cooperation with Huddersfield in UK, UACL in UK, UPUI, United States Central. It's in Helsinki, not Helsinki, but in Ilivieska, it's Finland. Universitat Bielefeld, it's in Germany. So this is really focused on teaching, and we've got some cooperation, of course, with another, not only universities, but another companies, and this is part for Magda.
But just before we, also you need to remember the partnership with universities means that we have also not only exchange of students and lectures and staff, but also we're doing joint programs together. The one university that is not listed here is from Vietnam, that we do 2+2 program in the field of IT. And obviously, what it means that the last slide is showing you our partners, and these are not as much as university partner, but our students and graduate partners, because people during the studies, they are able to do the internship in those famous companies, a paid internship, and very often the internship these days turns into full-time employment, and that is important, especially, I will stress this, especially for IT specialists, okay? And well, obviously we have Cisco here, so we benefit from the close cooperation with the Cisco Academy, with the joint, with the software, with the specialists, but also internship, and then for our graduates to move into the full-time employment. These companies are actually based in Rzeszów. I've touched on the subject a little bit earlier on. Well, maybe not Microsoft, but Deloitte, the international companies that do look for international students to work for them, and they don't have to speak Polish, okay? Because our international students bring not only their own language, but they also very often speak Arabic, French, and many others. And this is what today's international companies are actually looking for. Okay, and I'll leave you with that, because the next speaker, and thank you very much, and please, you've been given the leaflets, you are invited, and you please feel free to contact us either after the conference, or now my team is ready to speak to you, or email us or write to us if you want to know a little bit more about our schools. We've never said anything about the tuition fee, but let me tell you, this is going to be probably 1/3 of the price of any other European universities. Very competitive on prices, and please bear that in mind. And the quality of education is not justified because of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Magda. Of course, if there are any questions, I would like to ask you to stay with them for the discussion panel at the end of the conference day, because it will be much easier and much more, let's say, dynamic when we put them to the discussion panel. Just note them, and you can ask them later. Okay, right now I would like to welcome on the stage Grzegorz Karpiuk, who is my colleague from University of Information Technology and Management as well, and he will be talking about BEAST.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm the head of project department at my university, University of Information Technology and Management, and my role today is to tell you a few words about our approach, how we develop and then excel our programs to work with students individually, to build their competences matching the market needs best, in the best way, in the best possible way. And I think I'm not the only one to say that developing a curriculum that suits the market needs is one of the biggest challenges the universities now have to face. And our response to that is called BEAST. This is the name of a project we have implemented recently. And actually it means be aware students. We want to shape the awareness of our students about their profile, about their professional skills, and we want to teach them how to excel themselves and how to build their capacity to be the best candidate for companies working on the market. So actually, it's called BEAST, but how we translate them, it's a business-oriented approach to planning students' professional career. And as I told you, it's a part of a project. Actually, we have implemented 3 projects in this subject. All of them were funded by either European funds or our national funds. The first one was called BEAST, and we developed some tools for students, mostly for IT. The other one is called OmniBeast, when we transferred the experience from BEAST project to other areas of life and to other curricula. And the last one, which we are working on it now, it's more general and more systemic, and we develop an overwhelming, maybe not overwhelming, a holistic approach to shaping professional careers of students for the whole university. All of these projects were implemented in a partnership, European partnership. One of our partners, and this is our key partner, is the University of Bologna, which is the oldest university in Europe, and this is a really very valuable partner for us. We also have partners from Portugal, Greece, Spain, and France. Okay, so our vision here is to have aware students who can purposefully develop their skills and knowledge, so they can discover their professional identity related to the interest and passion. So on the one hand, we want to focus on what the students feel about themselves and how they perceive their strengths and qualities, and then to encourage them to shape their career in that way that they are valuable candidates for companies in the market. Our approach is kind of individual. I mean, this is our innovative approach, but based on proven tools, which are well known, I think, in the area of shaping the career or working with people. So we have design thinking approach, which is, I think, quite popular in many areas of business now. But we also implemented design life methodology, which was developed by these 2 guys, Bill Barnett and Dave Evans. Then we also use the business model canvas. We adopted the business model canvas approach to make it more personal oriented for students. So finally, what we developed together based on those tools, we blended them together to form our BEAST approach. Our approach involves, of course, many stakeholders with students in the center of the whole system, but also we have some tools for teachers, we have some tools for career development office, and finally, for university management board. So all those stakeholders are, I think, rightfully represented in our system. Actually, our model seems to be quite typical. So we start from the job market analysis. We analyze the requirements from the job market. Then we develop a graduate profile. And then we try to adapt our curriculum and constantly improve it to get the best fit of those two elements. And actually, on one hand, we have learning outcomes, which is like a graduate profile. On the other hand, we have job market requirements, and we try to fit them together. And we call this approach Kanbanizing model. So our system is based on a number of products. And here I'll make a short introduction into the key products of our system. So each student that enrolled our university, who will be our student, can use these products on an individual basis. So the first one, we have a catalog of job position canvas, which means that for each curriculum, we try to develop this canvas, which is like a map of skills, expectations, qualities, and anything you can expect so that you will be a good candidate for a job market. The other product is based on project management approach, and it's mostly for university managers and for teachers. It's called Job Position Kanbanizing Body of Knowledge, which is like a guidance for our teachers, for our managers, how to prepare those profiles, those canvases for any faculty, any curriculum we have at our university. Then we have a toolbox for students, so it's like a set of tools that can be used by each student individually under the guidance of a teacher or a career officer, so that they can work on their own skills, their own career path. And we also developed two learning modules. One is for Business Model U. It's like to shape your career using a business approach, business-oriented approach. It's for IT students. And the other module is general for all students, and we call it Entrepreneurial Student. Ideas for innovative business. So it's mostly for students who think about setting up a startup company in any area. It's not only for IT, it's for students for nursing or for cosmetology or other faculties we offer. And we also have module for teachers, and we guide them how to use our tools and how to work with the students. So these are the key products, and they are supported by a number of other like e-learning courses, podcasts, some methodological guides, and also we have some training modules for general skills like creativity or critical thinking or communication or teamwork. And this is quite a nice, I think, experience, a League Serious Play workshop. It's like actually one of the tools we use. It's a workshop when you can plan your future career playing with Lego bricks. This follows a methodology developed by, I think, a Swiss university from Lugano. At least this is the university we cooperated on this approach, and now we use it as a workshop. Yeah, and some examples of how we work with students, some examples of practical use of tools. So, personal business model canvas looks like that, okay? It's a map of where you are and where you can be in the future. And this is worked out with the students on an individual basis. So it's divided into a number of fields, who helps you, what you do, who you are, what are the costs and consequences of the career path you can choose, what are the rewards or compensations you may expect from your career. In this case, it's a data scientist, it's for data scientists. And some other elements are filled out together with the students. So this is how we work with them. And actually, such examples, such canvases are prepared for a lot of occupations. some for IT, some for other occupations. Okay, this is some supporting materials we developed. Let's say what kind of certificates you can get to be more competitive on the job market when you are a data scientist in this example. And some certificates are offered by our university, so you have like an easy way to get them. What are key partners? Some of those organizations are also partners of our university, so it's easy touch with them, or you can get in contact with them quite easily. This is this holistic approach, job position canvassing, body of knowledge. Actually, it's inspired by project management body of knowledge, which was developed by the American Project Management Institute. And this is general methodology, how we work on canvases for each job occupation. We identified some processes there, like curriculum planning, job market analysis, identification of requirements for the education process, and so on. So we have a number of processes there, and in this book we describe them step by step. What are the inputs necessary to start the process, what are the tools we may use, and what are the outputs at the end of it. The book will be ready in May. The final form of the book will be ready in May, and this is just a prototype of that. Okay. And now the students' toolbox. So some tools which are used with the students. Actually, it follows a design thinking framework. So we start from empathizing phase, then defining, ideation, prototyping, and testing. And we use different tools for different students. So when they come to us, we analyze their needs, analyze their dreams of their future career, and they try to adapt different tools for different students to make an individual support path. Yeah, and some examples of tools. Some of them are well known, some of them were developed just by us, so it's like individual input to the methodology, like Odyssey plan, for example, or decision trees when you analyze different decisions you can make in your professional career and try to assess which one is the best, which path is the best. Good time journal when you focus on your positive attitudes, positive experience with the occupation you dream of. There are some examples of those tools. This is like a leaflet or a book which is given to each student, and you can work on it individually. So good time journal or activity, environments, interactions, objects and users. This AEIOU approach. Some other tools. Okay. And finally, as a picture can be worth more than 1,000 words, sometimes, of course. So there are some pictures, how we work with students. So these are examples, pictures from our workshops with students or individual work with them. Those personal business canvases developed for different students, for different occupations. And some certificates given at the end of the workshops. Okay, so if you are interested in those methods, in exploring them, or getting some more information about them, you can contact me. I'm the head of the project office, or you can contact directly the manager of all those projects, Mrs. Świętoniowska, she's not here, however, she's the manager of all of it, so like the author of our BEAST approach to individualized careers for students. And actually, that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Grzegorz. It was really inspiring. Yeah, and as you can see, we work with BEAST at our university, so this is somehow inclusive teaching as well. Right now, I would like to ask Maciej Chrzanowski to the stage. He will be talking a little bit about how we can develop the entrepreneurship generally in a people life. Okay, Maciek,
Thank you.
your time.
Thank you very much. So during my presentation in Poland alone, it will be established around 10 companies with the fail rate at exactly 20%. Not 90%, 20% according to the newest data. And before I will go further with the statistics and I will try to argue what will look the future of acceleration startup, let me tell you a story or basically go back with a history. So during the Industrial Revolution, when, let's say, Henry Ford wanted to produce more cars and when there was no automated production line, what he wanted to do, if he wanted to produce more cars, he should have hired more people. So the thing which slowed down the growth of the economy and of the company was the man's muscles. We can argue that. Then you have the information revolution. So the problem was the person, the man was the problem, and the solution was the machine. The problem was the muscles, the solution was the automated production line. Then we have the information revolution. So your mind, from neurobiological point of view, from psychological point of view, you can do one task at once. Even if a lot of women and men say that I am a great multitasker, from a neurological point of view, you are not. Your brain can do one thing at once. And the algorithms, the computers, can do even billions of times at 1 second. So during the information revolution, the problem was also a man, but this time it was our mind. And the solution also was the machine. But this time it was the algorithm. So even in our history, we always see the machine as a solution of our problem, as a solution of our growth. Hello, all of you. I'm Maciej Szanowski from Rzeszów University of Technology and from Department of Entrepreneurship, Management and Eco-Innovativeness. I'm also the CEO, co-founder with my best friend Łukasz from with the startup of Reactly. So I mentioned you that in Poland, during my presentation, during 15 minutes, there will be exactly 11 companies will be established. In US, it will be 152, with also a rate of around 20% of fail. So this very statistic is similar to almost every single country. There are a lot of companies created every single hour, every single day. And I will also argue that during the crises, during the pandemic crisis, right now during the conflicts crisis around the world, especially next to our country, this is the best time for starting a business in Poland. And I told you about the history. I told you about the information revolution, about the industrial revolution. So when you look at the establishing a company, starting a company, and if you cooperate with a lot of companies, because I am also a business consultant, I've cooperated with lots of SMEs. I see that starting a company and conducting a company is basically a repeatable and predictable process. Of course, there is no such a thing like, golden rules that you will be succeed, but the steps you take are very, very repeatable. If something is repeatable, it means that it can be optimized. If something can be optimized, it means it can be automated. So from my point of view, and I will hardly argue that even the creation, the testing of your idea, of preparing the business model canvas and then starting a company can be highly automated and can be highly optimized. If you look at some statistics, so very obvious one, more than half of the world, most of the countries have at the rate between 60 and 100% share of the population who use internet. So we live in a world which is digitalized. Every single of you who are sitting here has around 34 applications in your phone. Your phone, I'm saying obvious things, is your time clock, is your basically everything. So I told you before that from my point of view, right now is the best time for starting a business. And what is more, I will also argue that Poland is the best place to start a business. I know, especially if you are from Poland, it can be really surprising for you. This very stat can be really surprising. But this is the newest statistic from 2020 from VCs from Europe, that in Poland we are the winner, we are the black horse. The biggest number of VC investments are in Poland alone. In the pandemic year, Poland was the country in whole Europe where there was the biggest number of VC investments, and of course it's obvious that also during the crises, during the pandemics, during the war conflicts, we will be going to the digital world. It's really obvious. When you look at this very data, between 2019 and 2020, the investment in edtech industry basically more than doubled. So, and because from my point of view, I told you that starting a business is highly repeatable. I'm not saying about the success rate, I'm just saying about the steps you take. And because we as a people are in a big rush, I will highly, I can argue that this very process can be automated. What is more, if you look at the data on digital transformation investments in 2019, so basically when the pandemic started, but still we cannot say this is the pandemic year, $2 trillion companies around the world invested in company. So before I will tell you something about Reactly, let me tell you a short story, a short experiment that Google conducted a couple of years back, showing the case that we as a people are in a big rush, and we as a people even don't have time basically to learn as much as we want to, but we want to have special task-based, basically tasks what to do. We don't even want to know why we are doing something, but we just want to know how to do something. So a couple of years back, Google created an experiment. Of course, the best research you can conduct as a researcher, as a scientist, is the research where people don't know that they are under research process. You know the Heisenberg law that the observation influenced the observator influenced the whole research. So the Google invited people from the happiest nation in the world. Who is the happiest nation in the world? Unfortunately, not Poland and not Bhutan. Basically, it is the Denmark. So they invited them to their whereabouts, to their headquarters, and told them they wanted to research how many seconds every single person, how many seconds do we need to frustrate, to get someone angry, basically. And what they told them that they will give them 60 seconds. They will give them the phone. On this very phone will be one application. It will be online store. On this online store there will be a lot of products from the range of $5 to a couple of thousands of dollars. They told them whatever you put in this online shop, in this very app, during the 60 seconds in the basket, we will give you in a real world for free. That's a great deal, guys. But what they didn't tell them, that some products cannot be added to the basket. Some product will be removed from the basket, and some product, when you want to add this to the basket, will be loading really slow. And the case was that you need basically 2.4 seconds only in the online world to frustrate someone. We are in the rush. And because we are in the rush, we don't even have time to learn as much as we want to. And what is Reactly? We are basically developing an application which is business acceleration, gamified app and platform. We want to become this for idea and business acceleration, what Duolingo is for language learning. So when talking about Poland, we are talking about the market which is valuated at 20 billion Polish zloty, with the number of potential users of 4.3 million. So a lot of also a lot of potential users around the world, and key functionalities of our app. It will be, and I'm really glad that I'm after a great presentation that Grzegorz showed you, with great tools for students to develop their career path. So we also want to put as many tools, but basically it will be on using these tools, but to give you tasks to do. And to monitor this task. So it will not be, you can call it basically a learning platform, but more than a task-focused platform. When we don't teach you what is business model canvas, we give you tasks which are based on business model canvas. We don't teach you what is blue ocean strategy, we give you tasks to conduct something, because you don't have a lot of time to know it all. Of course we are preparing two paths for person who have a company and person who have just an idea, that you will have tasks and you will have AI-based business advices. Yeah, we can go further. Before I will finish, let me tell you this. So, like I mentioned you before, according to neurological research, psychological research, I'm really keen on this. The best way to learn something is through experience. That's why I'm also really grateful that after me it will be my colleague with the really great company with business simulation games. And if you know that from neurological point of view, the best way is to learn through experience. If you know that people can focus around 8 seconds on something, if you know that we are in a rush, that we don't want to and don't have time to learn as much as possible, and we basically just want to know what to do, how to do it. That's why on TikTok, on Instagram Reels, whatever, the biggest popularity are the basically how-tos videos, not the videos who explain everything. People don't want to know everything. They want to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And hopefully we will someday be with such big a success like my friends Ela startups. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Maciek. It was really great presentation. Right now, I would like to ask Ela. She's my friend as well, so today we've got only friends on the stages. Yeah, so Ela is from Revas. This is a company which is deal with some simulation. So as you can see, we are still talking about how to find some experience in teaching and developing. Ela, come to the stage and just do the work.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone. We're going to change the subject a bit, and I think I'm going to conclude all the things that were said today, because the conference is about science, about innovation, and about education and where they meet, and I will try to show you that they can meet in games. As I was introduced, and thank you Maciek, thank you Łukasz for the introduction. I work for Revas Business Simulation Games, where we develop serious games that I will show you a bit later. And I'm also a graduate of University of Information Technology and Management, so I can confirm all the things that were said before about treating students, and I was also later the lecturer there, so about knowing all the Susans and Roberts, that is true as well. All right, let's start with some introduction. If I told you to imagine someone playing a game, this is probably what you would come up with, right? Somebody's sitting at a computer playing a game. If you are a parent, maybe your heartbeat is going a bit up, thinking, oh my God, leave the computer and go and play outside, right? Because very often we don't perceive game playing as something good and beneficial. So I'll try to show you today that even games like the one that you see on the screen could have some positive effects. And that, of course, there are games that are designed to be educational, that can be used for fun and to learn things along the way. So, of course, there is a great variety of games, and if we can come up with some ideas of the games that are educational and good, and the ones that are not so much, at least at first glance. If we think about chess, and if I asked you, is it a good game in terms of learning things? Well, you would probably all agree, yes, you can learn strategic thinking. I'm sure at least some of us watched Queen's Gambit and think that, yes, that's a good way of learning new things. If I showed you that that is a screen from Counter-Strike, well, I'm not sure if I would get lots of hand raised if I asked if there is any benefit for the players. I will come back to that later. Minecraft, at the first glance, does not look like a very good educational game, but it turns out to have great potential in terms of learning basic programming, coding, but also creativity, imagination. Or Grand Theft Auto, I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's all about robberies, running away from police, and doing all the illegal things. Does it look educational? Not really at the first glance. So, what makes a game educational, and what can you learn from that? For the purpose of this presentation, I divided games into 3 types. It's not any typology proved by anybody, it's just for the purpose of my presentation. So I first came up with the educational games, and I think it is pretty obvious. Lots of games are designed just for the educational purposes. Lots of games for kids on the alphabet, on calculations, shapes, colors, etc. Lots of quizzes to teach, to check your knowledge of something, your skills in something, like geography quiz, where you can check your knowledge of the capitals or the flags. Of course, lots of language games and apps to help you develop languages. So obviously there's a number of games, but they are designed specially for the educational purpose. Or quizzes on anatomy, etc. Then we have those video games. So we have things like Counter-Strike, where you can be an FBI agent or any other special force. I don't really know what you're doing there, but I hope the illustration is enough. You can be the Witcher, slaying monsters, or you can try to be the fastest in the Need for Speed game. So again, at first glance, the video games, they're not designed for educational purposes. They're purely to be entertaining and fun. So we will later think about the things that you can still take out from these games. And the third category, and I will give you a short intro before I get to this category, is this slide. I don't know if you can see it well. There's an operation, 2 pilots and a lady who is a boss, so she's an entrepreneur. What do they have in common, those 3 situations? I chose them to show you that there are some things that you cannot learn just by reading a book about it. You cannot learn how to perform an operation, so just read a book and then go and operate a real-life person. The same with the plane. Just after reading a book, you can't take 300 people on board and just try it and see if it works. And the same with business. I think that, well, okay, you can do it. So you can go and start a business without any preparations, but the result can be various, or at least could have been better if you tried it before. So in all those cases, there is a need for something that will bridge the distance between the book and the real life. And this is where serious games come in, because teaching all those 3 types of people, so for example, pilots, doctors, and entrepreneurs, most of the education stops at the question, what would you do if, what would you do when? So for example, what would you do if you are operating on a patient and the IO, one of the veins is broken and the patient is bleeding, okay? So then the students of medicine say, oh, we would probably do this and that, but you cannot know that until you really are facing the situation. The same with the pilot. So what would you do if there is a strong wind on the left side, and how would you approach the landing there? If you're an entrepreneur, so we can just sit around and talk. Okay, so what would you do if your competitor decreased the prices? How would you react? What would you do if your customers started leaving because they were not happy about your offer? So we can hypothesize and theorize about those hypothetical situations, but the best thing would be just to go and try it. So this is where simulators come in. So simulators like treating patients and operating on virtual patients, but to be able to find yourself in these types of situations. Of course, I think this is the flagship example, so the flight simulators. And also the simulators that Łukasz and Magda mentioned before, so for example, ArcPort, so the simulations of running an airport. And the last thing are the business simulations, and this is where my expertise come in, because these are the games that we develop at Rebas. So to give you an idea of what that is. So a business simulation is a game where you run a business. And it's not about teaching how to start. It's about teaching how to manage, because this is what I feel that a lot of programs are lacking. So we teach how to start, and this is what Maciek mentioned, that there's a repeatable process that you have to do in order to register a business, but then you have to manage it. So lots of programs prepare to start, and they then just go and run the business. They just leave you there, because it's difficult to create this environment that looks like real business. So in business games, we have a group of people who run the same type of company, and they have to compete against one another so that they face real-life situations. Here's an example of a travel agency. So instead of just asking students, okay, if you ever run a travel agency, what kind of services would you be selling? So instead of saying imagine, we say, okay, so which one do you choose right now? Then instead of hypothesizing, so who would you hire? Would you go for people with more experience, but you know that they would like to earn more money? There is greater customer satisfaction and lower risk of complaint, but your costs will be higher. So now go and do it. Choose it and see what the consequences will be. And the consequences could be that, for example, you are losing some sales. Okay, there's a number of services that you are selling, and the people come knocking at your door, so there is a demand for the product, but you are losing some sales. Maybe the employees are too busy, maybe you're missing some equipment or resources. So now it's a real life situation, and we don't just talk about what would you do if you are there. This is your business, and this is the situation, so now go and fix it. Find a way, think about possible options, and fix it. And also, all the simulators, but I will also use the example of business simulation games, help people to understand if this is what they want to do in real life. Because with the simulation games, I very often ask my students, and by students I mean secondary, higher education, but also people who are preparing to start a business, do you want to run your own business? And like 90% say, yes, I want to run my own business because it's money. I will have a great car, there will be networking, there will be trips to Dubai, to different conferences. So almost everyone wants to start a business and have their own company. But then we go through the simulation course. So they have to manage their company, they have to compete for customers, they face those real life problems and they have to solve it. Sometimes we make it also under time pressure, so that it's a bit stressful for them as well. And I ask them the same question at the end. And then a few hands go down saying, oh, no, I want to be an accountant. I want to work 8 till 5 or 9 till 5. I don't want to have those managerial problems, because I wanted to sell some things, but customers didn't come up, so I changed, but they still weren't coming, and my employees were not happy. I gave them more money, but they still were not happy, so what am I supposed to do? So for some people, it's stressful, and it's better to find it out before you go and start a real business, before you make some risk before you hire people, before you lose your money. So the simulators are the place where you can experiment in a risk-free environment. You can experience, for example, business or experience other areas. Looking at simulators, but also looking back at the previous games, also the video ones, what can we learn using games? And some of the things that you learn are conscious. So you know that you are learning it. And some of the things you learn by chance, right, we can say, or you don't even know that you're learning. So there are some, I just chose a set of skills, like if you have a language game, you can learn languages, but also if you're playing, I don't know, World of Warcraft with your international buddies, then you will be developing language as well, just to communicate with them. For kids, motoric skills, but not only for kids, because playing Counter-Strike, I'm guessing that there's also some eye-hand coordination needed. So, of course, multitasking, but I think I should delete this one because Maciek just showed.
It for discussion panel.
Okay, thank you. Digital skills, concentration, collaboration, creativity, problem solving, etc. But there are two also nice points at the bottom. Blissful productivity and urgent optimism. And these are two terms that come from a TED talk by, I think her name is Jenny McGonigal. And she was talking about how playing games can save the world. Very nice TED talk, and I really recommend watching. These are the two things that we could take from games to our real life to make us a bit better. If you ever played any game, it could be Candy Crush Soda or something much more sophisticated. When you finish a level and there's a new level where you have a lot of tasks to do you get overwhelmed and stop playing? So, oh my God, there are so many things to do, I'm not going to do it? No, right? You keep on playing because you want to do it, because you want to achieve it, because it's fun. So there is that is one thing. If you fail, if you fail a level, do you just kick this game out and say, no, I'm not playing it anymore? No. You usually sit again and again and again and again until you make it. The urgent optimism is about not giving up and about trying again. And does it work the same in real life? Not really. Very often, if we fail once somewhere, we just say, no, that's not for me, I'm not going to try. So why do we behave in a different way in a game and in the real life? So if we take this urgent optimism to our real life, that could be very beneficial. And the blissful productivity is about, especially games where there are side quests and different things to do, because in games, you can never be unemployed. You don't have free time. You don't just sit around, but you find tasks to do. So even if you complete something, you search for another thing to do. And do you have such the same productivity in real life? So if you finish, I don't know, cleaning the dishes, do you go and say, oh, okay, let's find another task to do and do the laundry, right? You do it? Okay.
In my life, it's like, okay, after turning on the dishwasher, because I'm not making this manually, because I'm too lazy, I'm going to lie on a bed. It's a work as well.
All right, okay. So let's learn from Łukasz.
Task to do.
Task to do. That's right. So apart from concrete things that we can learn from the games, we can also take some of the attitude that would be really useful in everyday life. We can learn some knowledge along the way, because in the business simulation games I mentioned, you can learn lots of things about business. If you are not studying a business, you will learn revenues, cost, investment, and lots of things along the way. You can pick up some knowledge. When I was playing a long time, a decade ago or two even, I was playing Baldur's Gate. I learned the names of all the medieval weapons because they were needed for the game. So we can pick up lots of things that will be very useful. And the last thing, why games are important and why a lot of things that we encounter in games remain with us for a long time, is this feeling of this picture is a great illustration of so-called epic win in a game. Epic win in a game is a situation where you win something that you didn't think was achievable. So it seemed so hard at the beginning, but when you finally get it, this is how most of the players react. And we can try to transfer this also to education, because winning a game like a business simulation game gives similar emotions. And trust me, I have played the business simulation games with people from primary school up to higher executive level, and they all react the same. Although the older ones will be a bit more toned, showing the emotions, or they would rather think, oh my God, please don't let me be the last one. But they still have the emotional attitude towards the final result, and then they will work harder to achieve a good result. So I hope that after watching this, maybe the parents will have a bit, let's say, milder approach to children playing video games, knowing that there's at least something that they can take out of it. And the serious games, which can be used at educational level, secondary schools, higher education, they're used also at the UITM that was mentioned, are great tools that can help students experience things without the risk of losing something in the real life, to get them better prepared for anything that they're going to do in the future. So let the games begin. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ella. Let's the presentation finish. Okay, it was really good presentation and really inspiring, and even the interactivity was on the really high level because it was somehow gamified. Okay, right now the last speaker, but not the least one, but what is really important, the youngest one. She's 17, and Martina is really amazing girl. Martina, the stage is yours. Martina Uszczek. She's Martina.
Hello, I welcome you all. My name is Martina, and I am very happy to be here today and to give you a few words. The topic of my today's presentation will be about why I'm not average, I am doing what I am doing at the 17 years old, and why Podkarpackie is a suitable place for development young people with great ambitions. Actually, I think that Podkarpackie is very good place for find our passion and themselves. I will try to tell you about my historic development scientist and activist. My adventure with Podkarpackie started I have studied in Podkarpackie Voivodeship, and when I then I gradually began to discover my potential and engage in various activities. After the first year, I took part in Tiger Global Case competition. This is World Economic competition for students, and where participants created a strategy development Hugh for Gain company. It would not be possible without the support of my teacher of entrepreneurship lesson, which made me interested in this subject with very good effect, and thanks to this I started to read a lot about it, and I found out the greatest capital is my own knowledge. Later I started one of the biggest projects of my life, and I have co-created Aquacollector. It's a device that has been designed and created to collect and utilize microplastic. Did you know that every minute more than 1 million plastic garbage ends up and sees the ocean, with decomposed into smaller and smaller particles? It is estimated that if we not think about it, in a dozen or so years, there will be more plastic particles in the water than the organism live there. The device is very popular among investors, so I hope future commercialization and implementation in Poland and the rest of Europe. Later, I was able to win the Perspective Foundation Award in the Women in Tech program for the best student of IT and related faculties. During the program, I had the pleasure of contacting employees and working in classes under their supervisor and applying of internship in one institution. It was a great experience and the opportunity to meet amazing people who showed me how I should working continue. I think that I am such a locomotive and such initiatives are a high quality fire. I just love it. Then together with my team we started working on the project of the pilot project Solve for Tomorrow by Samsung. We have co-created a drone for point testing of air pollution profusion. Thanks to support of several universities in Podkarpackie, we were able to do great job and for environment. We have acquired many soft skills which are currently highly valued on the global market. In recent months, one of my great dreams has come true because with the girls who I meet during in program I Am Leader, organized by Vital Voices Poland, I founded my own startup or a small enterprise. Our activities focus on design a virtual environment for students and researchers where adepts can, in accordance with the idea of work smarter, not harder, learn how to learn effectively and gain invaluable support to this process. Among such novelties in my life was an application for an internship at the Chancellery of the Polish Prime Minister. The work consisted in design a digital solution targeted at state solution. My proposal was related to the creation of artificial network neural. Thanks to their accuracy, what increased the platform for citizens, because the ones that apparently were, unfortunately, very resistant to people without advanced IT knowledge. In additionally, I submitted a proposal to create digital solution for farmers, thanks to which their work could be made less bureaucratic. We went through what I put my basket in Podkarpackie. However, I was impossible not to include social activism, which is a huge part of my life. I am Parliament of Young Polish Parliament, where I work with my peers on the development of the state in the area matters related to young people. I can confirm that we have a huge driving force. I am also a mentor to my young peers in the Teen Academy program, and I try to help them fulfill their dreams, build their self-confidence, and I coordinate lots of social projects and volunteer. The support of local authorities turned out to be very important in this process. It is right and necessary to draw attention of politicians to the need to introduce scholarship programs and modernize research laboratories. I am glad that such initiatives are undertaken and I have used them many times. Everything is aimed at the fact that Podkarpackie is a place where everyone find themselves registered and that their previous experience acknowledged. It is worth trying. It guarantees that your development will be in good hands. Actually, we are after different, we act together like a pendulum and generation, and we don't make sense each other. Finally, I would like briefly. Business has only two functions, cooperation and innovation. I am sure and sacrifice that Podkarpackie are basic for development of everyone whose ambition go further than a basket of rotten strawberries. Thank you very much for coming to my presentation.
Thank you, Martyna. It was really great and amazing thing. Okay, right now we are going to discussion panel. So Martyna, take a seat. and I would like to ask Ela, Magda, Grzegorz, Maciej to join the discussion panel. Yes, Grzegorz, you too. Take place. We've got 2 microphones, so we have to pass them, and I need my notes. Of course, audience is welcome for asking. So if you have some questions, maybe right now or maybe during the discussion panel, you are really welcome to just ask them. Okay? So give me just the sign that you want to join the discussion. Okay. There is a lot of us, so I think that it will be very dynamic discussion. We've got many approaches and many point of views on education. There are some project learning approaches, there are some knowledge, and we've got some impression of the university and so. First of all, I would like to ask all of you, maybe not all have the experience with the universities, but Martyna, you can give us the experience from the high school, let's say. What makes the university or high school offer competitive? So what is important when young people are choosing the path of learning, the institution in which they are going to develop their skills? I will start with Magda. It can be like that. I will pass you my mic. Yeah, okay, it can be yours. So if you can give us some maybe tips and tricks how to attract the world with the offer of university.
Well, I can only speak about the international students that I study. Of course. Yeah, because this is my I'm like President Duda. This is
your specialization.
Friends in need are friends indeed. I would always admire young people if they make and their courage that they making a decision on the other side of the globe to come and to search for education and to improve their lives. That is on its own, that is an act of bravery and courage. And how the process of them making the decision actually goes, I am not sure, but I know that parents are influential. Because parents will tell you will tell them how much they can actually pay for their studies. Then obviously the field of studies, and I can go by the numbers based on our university records, that for example very general programs like international business management are very popular because people then doing 3 years doing the bachelor in international business, they can actually move on to many other fields of business. Or another group of people is I would call them the specific one, because if somebody is choosing programming, that means he is IT minded. If somebody is choosing nursing, he's that way minded. So as I said, 2 groups: the one who are not sure, they want to start their education, but they're not sure what they're going to do for the rest of their lives, and the people who are pretty sure, or they think they're sure, what they want from life, and they begin at the university.
So if I can add something as pragmatic as possible, because on the one path, on the one hand, I'm a researcher, on the other hand, trying to be a business owner and consultant. So I showed you one slide that there is the biggest percentage of investments in startups in Europe is in Poland. So from my point of view, you should even, don't be angry with me, in some way forget about university and choose the place when there is the biggest probability of success, whether you want to start a business, whether you want to find a job. So that should be the first step. Then that is exactly what Magdalena said. And of course, adding if the university has in offer tools like Grzegorz presented, like Ila mentioned, so things like that. From my point of view, so from my very perspective, it would be just the hard statistical data. choose the place when you have the biggest probability of success. Because right now, if you choose, I don't know, Silicon Valley, so you want to study in San Francisco, USA, so you will have a lot of competitors on every single field. If you start in Poland, let's say, you will not have as many competitors. Still, you have 40 million market, 40 million of people. You will have the startup revolution. You will have the greatest university, like Magdalena said, with the really great teaching abilities, things like that, great programs for the less price. So I will always look from the hard statistical probability and economical point of view.
Okay, thanks. But what about the people at uni? It's I think that it's from my point of view, it's quite important too to get some mentors, let's say, because even if the program is somehow difficult to conduct, there is math or there is some really tough subject. If there is really nice mentor and wise guy, it's much easier to deal with that subject. And the approach of how you choose your school right now and what are your plans? Probably they are quite interesting one because your achievements are so high.
This is very interesting question, and I have a lot of plan on my future. I will be go to universities and studying IT or programmist, and my biggest dream is created corporation in Polish market.
Okay, so we've got the offer. We've got the offer for you, and even we can plan your career, Grzegorz. You can say that how we can use this approach, which is, I think that the beast is something which is really unique in Poland. I don't know what about the rest of the world, but I'm sure that in Poland we've got no such tools for planning the career. We are specializing in IT, yeah? Yes. But we started from IT, and right now we are trying to spread for different faculties. So can you say how you find the inspiration or what from it comes?
Okay. Let me start from a Tolkien reference first. Okay.
Okay, it can be from literature.
The world has changed. I feel it in the water. Now the paradigm has changed, and I think the universities are now for education anymore. Not only for education, of course. So not only faculties and curriculum is important, but also something extra we need to add to our offer. And what we offer to add to our offer is those BIST approach to make choices for students more suitable for the market needs. And the inspiration came from Italy, I think, because we contacted University of Bologna, and they had some people there who were working on design your life methodology and business model U tools. So we decided to make a project together to blend those methodologies and to develop something unique, actually. So in Poland, I guess, we are the only university offering this approach now. Of course, we need to promote it, we try to promote it, we try to disseminate it to other universities or institutions. I think it can be adapted to also the level at high schools. However, so far we are developing it at our university level. And it can be still adapted to other areas, not only IT, of course. Okay, so yeah, this is what we do.
Okay, and right now, Ella, I want from you as well let's say the point of view of your studies, because I know that there can be something really interesting.
Yes, I wanted to mention my studies exactly, and also comment on what everyone said, because when I chose the university, it was because of the of all the extra things it offered outside of the curriculum, and that could build the CV during the studies. Because also from the point of view of an employer right now, if when we hire people on the junior level, so we don't expect any experience from them, and we get a number of CVs where 99% of them just have information about their studies and nothing else. And there are those few that say that they were working in a scientific circle, they did some extra certificates, workshops, courses. It looks really great. So looking at universities that offer Iata or those international certificates, which are really difficult to gain because they are very expensive outside of the university, that is a great value. So for those students, or let's say graduates maybe of high school, if they are ambitious and they know what they want to do, they will know what Iata means. So they will know the value, and that's what they are going to choose. And if they don't know what to do, the Beast tool will be awesome. This is the first time I hear about it, and it sounds really awesome. I decided to go study economy because I liked money. I had no idea what I was going to do, but a tool like this could really help me at that point.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And the next question will be about the confidence. How to build the confidence in young people? Because I think that this is crucial as well. Some of them are more open. Some of them are really introverted. Let's say. I know some guy who was during studies really introverted, and right now he is even able to host the conference in Dubai at Expo. Yeah, some guy with really maybe you heard about him. Yeah, this is my let's say my experience. So yeah, university give me some confidence as well, but I don't want to be focused on myself, but on your experience. Maciek, how you build that? Because you are the entrepreneurship, you are the startupper, you are some mentors for business, but you are academic teacher as well. So how you build the confidence in students, in your students?
That's a great question. Like always, I try to teach them the hard, the bad logic. It's just to be focused on data, and this is the best confident builder I can imagine. So basically focusing more on a logical, pragmatic thinking than on emotional one. And that can build you confidence, because when you are unconfident, it means that you are not. If you are talking about the confidence on the meritorical point of view, not on the your psychological point of view. But when talking about a psychological point of view, I think, and once more, I think the best way is to teach through practice, through simulations, things like that. Because you can basically try doing something you want to do. Like Ila mentioned, that when I conduct a business simulation game, let's say I think I am a great entrepreneur, that I will
or not, because you can be on the and really low in the table.
Yeah, and then I will take the game, and it will show me the result that I will be not. So
or not this time.
Or not this time, yeah. So yeah, from my point of view, it will be hard logic when talking about the let's say meritorical point of view, and psychological, just doing and not thinking.
Yeah, okay, that was my impression during this slide with kids, and really happy emotions, and that what's going on with the students who failed their business. Yeah, but almost the failure is some teaching method as well. We can do it in a specific, let's say, laboratory situation, not real life. So yeah, Magda, you want to add something?
I want to add something about confidence, because at some point, a little bit on a personal note, and at some point in my life I studied sports psychology, okay, and the experts to these days cannot agree what comes first, the success or the confidence. In other words, do you have to first be successful to gain the confidence, or you have to be confident first to make a success? You know, they haven't agreed on that one. So it's very hard for us to determine, you know, how this actually works. I think from my 10 years experience dealing with sport and now years of experience dealing in higher education, I would like to think that every little success adds to your confidence. So we need to somehow concentrate on making people believe, or actually helping them to achieve little successes, and they can build on that one.
Yeah. So you can build your confidence by successing. And I think that the people and the mentors are quite important here as well, because they can give us some, I don't want to say tips, each more.
And encourage them. Encourage them. And then the feedback, obviously, the encouragement. There's loads of methods that the mentor, the clever one, can use to help this young, because we're talking about young people, obviously, not about, you know, people all here very confident, as we can see.
But we build somehow this confidence,
Some even overconfident, I would say. But this is the role of the lecturer, of the mentor, you know, to show them that, okay, this is maybe a small success, but you can build on that one. And also, because like with Polish sportsmen, I've noticed very often, once they, for example, achieve success being youth, so under 21s, whatever sport, they think this is it, and they don't want to carry on, because this is something a little bit. I've noticed this in Speedway when we've produced a huge number of under 21 world champions, but they never progress to an adult champions, because they probably, everybody around them say, well, great. You've done your bit. Now you can enjoy it.
Not like Lewandowski. Maybe you know the Polish soccer player Lewandowski. He is really high, you know.
But even if we are talking about soccer, look at the Polish national team, for example, in soccer. If they're playing well in the first half,
that's exactly what I'm saying. That is exactly what I'm saying.
But I was talking about Robert, not the whole. Robert. I mentioned Robert as the poor one. During my presentation. But building the team confidence, it's something different, I think, that building the self-confidence. Let's say, So, but maybe the plan is some solution. So maybe the BIST as a let's say business model for your career, it's giving the chance to be more confident.
Yes, it's quite fun, I think, when you ask me questions and you already give answers. Okay, so
maybe I stay there. Maybe so you can say no.
It's a matter of confidence for sure. Yeah, I think the whole BIST approach is about building confidence. Actually, when you try to profile a student, try to show them different paths to career, and build in him or her a confidence that he or she will be able to choose the best one for her, for him. I think it's all about confidence. Yeah, it's a matter of confidence. Of course, it doesn't work with anyone, but some students come to us with a clear vision of what they want to achieve in their life, who they want to be, and our work then is just maybe not to check, not to verify, but to show some different opportunities. And okay, now let's talk. What's your choice? What's your original choice? The best one, or maybe you can consider some other options. But most of students just come without like a clear vision of what they want to do. And one of the first steps, and this is what we want to do, we try to do, is to build confidence in them. to choose the best choice, to make the best choice.
Yeah. Okay. And Martina, how it's in high schools? Your teachers or mentors are building your confidence, or your confidence goes from any place and another, let's say.
Yes, my teacher, mentors very supported me to build my
personality, let's say.
Yes, confidence, and I hope my soft skill will be development in a moment, in the future. But this very difficult process who damage me. There lots of exit for comfort strength.
Yeah, of course. It's always is the thing about going out from your this comfort zone. Yeah, I know that there was a part of your life, Ella, in which you crossed the comfort zone. I think that it was like something like this because I'm still in my comfort zone, which is at university, and I know that you were working at university as well, and finally you find or state the decision that you need your own company.
Yes, without Beast.
Without Beast, yeah.
The decision was made. Yes, that is true. It took time to build this confidence and go out there and try. It took us 10 years working at the university, thinking about business and then setting it up after 10 years. That was a mixture of experience, market opportunities, and well, lots of reasons. But I think the confidence to do it also came from doing lots of things, learning lots of things, and not being afraid of taking up challenges. The work at the university taught us how to deal with even the wildest challenges. So even with no experience, we were supposed to organize something, do something, write something, and we just had to do it. So we sat down, made a plan, and did it. So starting a company was kind of a project like this. Just okay, it seems quite crazy leaving a good a job at the university to try doing something on our own. But we approach it as every other task at the university. And also adding up to everything that was said about the confidence here, and looking back at my own studies and how I tried to teach my students, I think the confidence, because I was not used to speaking publicly totally. At the beginning, when I was running my first courses, I don't remember my first class because I was so stressed out. So how you gain confidence? By doing things, by doing them again and again. So that the practical education and experience, as you said, in education is so important. And as Pink sings, you just gotta get up and try, and then try it again and again and again. At some point, you will be better just because of the experience.
Yeah, did you see my notes? Because I've got here, is experience important in teaching?
Sorry.
Yeah, okay, but it's a really natural way.
I spoiled your answer.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Generally, the subject of the discussion panel is if you should educate the masses or polish the diamonds. So right now I would like to ask you about that. So you think that we should be concerned on the whole groups or just be focused on, let's say, particular needs? Of course, I know the point of view of Grzesiek here, probably because he is one of the author of BIS, so he is concerned on the individuals. But I would like to start from Magda with that. If the world need a lot of well-educated students, but in some general way, or we should be more specialized, in the education, so we should be more, let's say, exclusive.
Well, I think that first of all, education needs to be available for everybody, for the good ones, for the mediocre ones, and you know, and for the best ones.
Yeah, but on the all levels.
Well, I think we have to be very delicate here, not to upset anybody. But if I was a teacher, which I'm not, I can imagine that you have a class full of students, and then you know that Jviko Chirume is the one. And I'm sorry, I'm giving him as example because we spoke earlier about the confidence, and he's the person who came to our university via Spain from Zimbabwe and said to me in the first month of his career, of his studying, that he wants to change the face of aviation in Africa. Very ambitious, you have to say. But now he's working in Boeing company in Gdańsk. Okay,
and he's changing the face of.
Well, so that, and obviously as a student, I mean, he enjoyed all the extras. He was a school of leaders and a member of school of leaders, and he received all the extra because he was ready to receive that. I think the trouble is that you can push the good one, then he might not want your help because maybe he thinks he knows better than you, and then maybe we don't have anything to offer. So I would. This is we need to consider this on a very individual basis. To say the schools in middle schools, high schools, or grammar schools in England do that as well, but they give more help to people who are vulnerable. You know, not to the best ones, but to the ones who are behind, to bring them up to the group, thinking that the best one will carry on anyway and they'll be successful.
Yeah, but it's not something like making all average, because we are raising the last one, but not helping to the best one, and maybe the best one got no chance to be higher and higher because I don't know, the parents don't see the possibilities or there are no funds for that or something like this. So we just making all, let's say, the same.
No, it's not about that. It's about not excluding the weak ones. Okay,
yeah,
that's
of course.
one thing.
We shouldn't.
And the best ones, I think the best ones will carry on to even greater success because they will have the support. If not at the university level, then they will be snatched by the business sector. They will be snatched by the future employer because, you know, you invite somebody for the interview for a job, and you as an employer, you know straight away, more or less, you know how he's going to be, even if he's not selling himself.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Maciek, what do you think about that? We should polish diamonds or just educate the masses?
So, like always,
it depends on the data.
yeah. Of course, it's a hard question, but if I want to choose, I will say something really unpopular. We should focus on the best ones. Why is that? Because I'm not saying that the richer are the smartest, but the biggest minds, and also some of the richest people on earth, saying that you should give, like you call it, the whole bottle of milk to one person instead of giving a small portion of a glass of milk to 100 people. So I'm with this point. Why is that? Because I disagree that the people who is great in a class will always succeed. No, from my point of view, they will become lazy because they will compare themselves to the sorry for the word, but the worst ones from a lot of points of view, and you always develop yourself when you compare to the better ones. So instead of doing the education like the average, like okay, getting up the people who are, let's say, learning slower, and from my point of view, it's not good idea. And it doesn't mean exclusion, no, absolutely not, but from the very, and this is the role of a teacher, to know that someone has a potential, and then this is the role of a teacher, of a mentor, try to, I don't know...
To find the path for this student.
Find the path.
Yeah, so generally, still we should take care of individuals, not the masses. So like showing what's the potentials, or what the, I don't know, what are the ambitions even in each student, and try to help him or her to achieve the goal.
Yeah, I will just finish with one sentence. It's so obvious because it's so logical. Whenever the girl or a boy is in high school, let's say it, and people attending this high school are from, let's say, one small town and around, and someone, the boy is thinking he's handsome and the girl thinking she's beautiful, they are thinking it because they are comparing only to this small society. Yeah. When they are going for studying, it's become obvious that, okay, maybe I'm not so handsome. And the same thing goes with the skills. So I think it is the matter of a comparison.
Yeah, I've got some experience here from Wrocław Technical University, from my friend Piotr Deguro. He's teaching the microcontrollers labs, and he was in the University of Groningen program about the Master of Didactics with me, and his point of view here was like, you have to be the best one in a group, not the best one in the whole world, because it gives you the confidence right now. And if you change the group, the situation can change as well, because, yeah. Ella?
Yeah, I would like to add something, although I don't know which side to take. I can give you...
You can be in the middle.
I can be in the middle, thank you. I have a similar feeling when it comes to looking at simulation results, so the business simulation that we play with students. And when they play in groups and the group is competitive, they generally achieve much higher results, the whole group. And if the market is weak, meaning that they're not very good entrepreneurs in the game, I mean, then the results are not as good as they could be if they were playing with different people. So in this sense, focusing on the comparison either motivates you to go higher or makes you lazy, as Maciek said. I agree with that, looking just at the results. So if we want in general the societies to accelerate, to innovate, we need to give some extra motivation to the best ones. For example, by connecting them, maybe not giving them some special chances, but giving them
just networking them.
For example.
Building some networks. Yeah, I think that it's a little bit about that the group work a little bit different than the individual. So group ambitions can be much higher than individual. Maybe not about ambitions, about IQ maybe. The group IQ will be much higher than, or abilities much higher than the individual one. Martyna, I would like to ask you if, because you are the diamond, so it's quite difficult to find the answer here from you, but I would like to ask you about your colleagues, if they are supportive or not, because I think that it can be quite difficult situation for them if you are so high and after that nothing, and they. How it looks in your class?
I think that I try to help my peers to develop our passion and themselves, and this is very
You are really open for them, yeah?
Yes,
so you are helping them, and so it's your, let's say, scientific group in your class, or it's there's some mixture of guys from the whole Poland?
All Poland,
okay.
this group for all Poland and above Broadband Poland.
Yeah, okay. So in a classroom, you are like a normal student or normal pupil, or there is this difference, even in the approach of your teachers. So you are something, some person who is specific for the teacher, and there is difference in treatment between you and the rest of the group. Sometimes, obviously, it have to be, because, for example, right now you are in Dubai, so you miss the classes on Monday, and they need to give you some, it was okay not to be on the Polish classes at math, and I don't know what else. But normally.
I am very interesting reaction my teacher on this. But I think that here try to come student in the same, and I not look specials.
Okay, so you are trying to be normal pupil. Yes. Okay. I've got one more question about multitasking, because it was something which differ on the presentation. So what's going on with this multitasking? Grzegorz, are you a multitasker? I'm not, to be precise. I'm not. I can do only one thing in one time. Maybe I'm a really good task switcher, but not a multitasker. And what about you?
I think I'm trying to build my confidence in being a multitasker. I'm not. I think I'm not. Okay, I have a lot of tasks to do at the same time. However, I switch from one to another. So multitasking. I think it's just an element of our life today. So you should adapt to that, and it's just a matter of how you deal with your time, organization, how organized you are, what skills you have in these terms. Let me refer back to the previous question, okay, about pearls and...
okay.
Actually, I have a strong feeling that something is wrong in the question itself, because it's like an alternative. Either support those or support those. I think the world needs education, not only for just the pearls or something like that, just for everyone. And I think we can do both at the same time. So educate masses and
Polish diamonds. Yeah.
Polish diamonds. And I think even with this famous beast approach, it seems to be individual. However, it's egalitarian. Everybody can come and get support. Using the approach, we try to identify the pearls maybe, but we don't focus on them. Okay, we support them, but there is a chance for everyone to come and to see what can happen in your professional life later. So I wouldn't make a distinction. It's not alternative. I think it's a conjunction. You can do both at the same time. And yeah, if you ask me for multitasking again, yeah, I'm expected to be a multitasker, but I'm not. So I'm not the best person to have any advice on it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Magda.
Well, I think. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Multitasking is a women thing. I'm
Yeah,
sure the girls are
I would
I'm
like to
sorry.
add that.
Well, of
that-
course. Looking at the simple things as everyday tasks. Women, the shopping, the children, looking good, cooking, cleaning, and men at the same time, he's at work. All right, he comes back from work and he's tired after work. Okay, so
and there is no need to look perfectly. So yeah.
Well,
we can just look.
You know,
somehow.
So I think that every woman would confirm that. I think every expert will confirm that the men are not genetically multitaskers. They can do one thing at a time, concentrate on that one. They probably do a very good job, but they cannot be distracted. And I see this every day in my household. When I do dogs, cooking, garden, phoning, and my partner is I don't know, polishing shoes all day or something, one thing, and then he cannot start and finish. You know, so I think that is the sex regulated thing.
Yeah, okay, maybe like that. It's about the gender, not about the general thing. So there should be difference between male and or woman and man, and maybe non-confirmed, let's say. Ella, are you multitasker? You should be, probably, right now.
I agree with Magdalena. I see it also in my home. That when I do several things at once, so cooking, doing the shopping list, and listening to an audiobook or doing another thing at the same time, that's not a problem for me. And I think we all do it driving a car, right? We have to look in the mirrors, look what's going on in the road, change the gears. So we all do it in very specific situations, especially the ones that are like chores or things we do automatically. But when we come to work, so when we come to some tasks that require our full concentration, I think multitasking then doesn't work. So the time that is needed to shift from one topic mentally to another is a waste of time. So although I used to consider myself a multitasker and doing several things at once, I decided to leave it because it doesn't make sense. Focusing on one task for a shorter period of time and closing it gives even better feeling of success and completion.
Yeah, the reward is much
exactly.
stronger.
So it depends on the situation.
Yeah, okay. Maciek, what's your opinion?
So let me finish with that. So I'm probably a woman because I think I'm
okay.
more a multitasker in this point. Oh, of course, it depends on how you, how you define the multitasking. But when talking, like we discussed on the table, when talking about the motoric skills, of course, we are all multitasker, and in this definition, we can all be multitasker. When talking about
even it's about walking and breathing.
Yeah. So, but meritorical point of view, there's no multitasking at all. It's impossible. You are just shifting the focus. You cannot do several things at once.
Yeah, we've got here two sides. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So that's my point.
Okay, thanks. I would like to slowly go to the finish. So I will say something like, yeah, maybe there will be some later, but I would like to finish our discussion with some sentence. No man left behind. So we should educate masses, be concerned on the individuals, and remember about everyone and stay focused on everyone. I think that this is the clue of modern education. So I would like to say thank you to all of you and have a nice stay in Dubai.